folks, and welcome back to Pattaya. That's right, we are back in Pattaya, at least for a minute here. I'm out shopping for trucks today. I'll go into that, tell you what kind of vehicle I'm looking for and why, and give you some pro buyer tips along the way, things I've practiced and learned through my career of doing this. And I'll also go into how I arrive at pricing here in Thailand, how you can find out how much a vehicle is worth. So let's jump into it. So, as the title indicates, out looking at possibly to get a truck. I've been giving this a lot of thought. I thought maybe I would buy a new truck, but I want to explore the used option. I won't be driving it that much. You know, you don't really need one in Pattaya. In Pattaya, you can use the motor scooter to go everywhere. Although they are nice if it rains, you want to go to the mall or to the macro and go shopping or something like that, then it's nice to have a vehicle, but normal day-to-day you really don't need it. So it's a special kind of vehicle I'm looking for. I want it to be a truck, and the trucks are basically in three flavors: two-door, what I call 2.5 door, and 4-door. The 4-door trucks, the bed is too small. The 2-door trucks, the cab is too small. I like the one in between where you have a full door. I'll show you one because they have one here that I wanted to look at, and it seems to be in the price seems to be right. We'll talk about price in a minute. And no matter where you're buying a car or used car, a lot of these things I'm going to talk about apply, not just here in Thailand. One thing you'll see here in Thailand, the license plate follows the vehicle. So when you get the vehicle, you already got a license plate. If it's used, of course, you just have to change the name. But the lettering for a 2-door vehicle is green, and for a 4-door vehicle is black. So that's why you'll see some of the tags have green numbers and some have black numbers. So I'm looking for one with the green numbers. I guess the half door doesn't count for that. Though technically it's 4 doors, it's 2.5. And the reason for that is the bike will fit in that bed with the tailgate closed at a diagonal. My CRF 300 will fit in there. No way it fits. A scooter might fit, like a PCX or something might fit in a 4-door truck, but not my bike. So that's what I kind of want to do. I want to get a truck, put the bike in the back, and then we go to places. I love to ride my bike around different places, but I don't necessarily want to spend 10-12 hours on the highway on the bike to get there. So we'll arrive more comfortable, less worn out. You can actually do more miles in a day in a car than a bike. But tricks to used car buying here, or anywhere, but here a little bit more tricky. Some people will say, oh, Thailand's expensive for vehicles. The vehicles really are, used vehicles are really high in Thailand. I don't necessarily agree with that. Although your mileage may vary. But a vehicle's price is very interesting. It's based on the market sets it, and that market isn't at some used car lot. It's not in some guy's backyard who's selling his car. It's set at the auction. The auction set the prices because it's a commodity on the chopping block, and people buy then, they pay right there, they say what they'll pay. That's the price. Like it or not, that's where all the prices come from. In the US, there's a plethora of guides: Kelley Blue Book, Black Book, Edmunds, all new and used car price lists and price guides. They don't really have anything like that here, but suffice it to say, a lot of those guides, they actually come from information from the auctions, like Mannheim, a big national auction in the US. So those guides, I have not seen any guide like that here. If you know of something, please tell me. But I've done my own research. So I went to an auction about 6 months ago. They actually have auctions online, live streaming, Facebook, on their website, and now on YouTube. So if you're interested in a vehicle, I'm interested. I just told you what kind of vehicle, maybe a 3 to 4 year old 2.5 door truck with average mileage on it. Spend some time on the auction live streams, concentrate and focus on the ones that are similar to what you want, and see what they're going for. See what they cost new and see what they're going for at auction, and the difference will be your residual value or a percentage of the new price. So if a vehicle was $1 million baht new, and after 3.5 years and 50,000 kilometers, it's selling for 5,500 or 550,000, I should say. So maybe that's what, a 55% residual value. After you're looking at several of these, you kind of get to understand a little bit more. Certain brands may hold their value better. Here in Thailand, I believe Isuzu might fall into that category. Certain brands hold their value less. Certain types of vehicles, cars versus trucks, trucks tend to hold their value a little bit better. Four-wheel drive versus two-wheel drive, etc. And of course, the other thing is the mileage. And that's hard to find out. A lot of times they're not forthcoming with the mileage on vehicles, but really that's the first thing I want to know. Year, make, model, and mileage to make my mind up on a price. So you'll see all kinds of different deals. You can shop on Facebook Marketplace, you can shop on Bot Sold, or you can shop at dealers. A lot of people will say, oh, you can get a better deal shopping from a private person. Maybe if it's a one-owner car and the maintenance history, they have a meticulous records of that. That's a positive. That makes it worth more, actually. But my sense, shopping private, that people don't know what their vehicles are worth. I think they do know, because if they took it to a dealer or took it to an auction and wholesaled it, they would quickly find out, and they don't want that price. So a lot of times people are get in vehicles a little bit too deep, and they try to get as much out of them as they can. Just because it's a private seller does not mean you're getting a good deal, unfortunately. But it also means you could get a good deal. There's people panic selling. Once in a while you can find a really good deal. It just depends. But that's not the be-all, end-all. And I've heard of many people buying from even other expats here. They say, oh, I just bought this vehicle from such and such. And I've looked it up and thought, I don't think that was such a good deal. I could have gotten for 25% more, I could have got a brand new one. That happens. But anyway, I used to work in this industry, and the real professionals in this industry is not some it's not some guy in Schenectady, New York that has a 35 car lot, a used car lot. Although, who knows, he may know more than anybody. But the real professionals in the industry are in the fleet companies, the huge fleet companies. Their whole business relies on that. They lease vehicles to the three big fleets, government, corporate, and rental car fleets. And they have to know how much those vehicles are going to be worth after 3 years with 50,000 miles on them or whatever, to know what to charge their customers and to make sure they turn a profit. So they're very good. They have people. That's their whole job in life, is to track these auction prices. They can tell you how much you can get for a vehicle at a given day of the week, a certain week of a month of the year, with however many miles. They can tell you very close what it's going to bring in auction. That's how good they are. So that's how you find out your real vehicle values. And just looking around, it's always frustrating, because I see some that are just so overly priced. People saying, oh, one owner, great deal. Yeah, it's 200,000 baht too much. I've seen plenty of them like that. Maybe they paid too much for it new. Maybe they're just greedy. But you just have to kind of know what they're worth, and just because it's a private seller, still do your due diligence. But anyway, I'm going to be looking around. So if anybody has a vehicle they're selling that matches my description of something that I'm looking for, let me know, because I'm just in the shopping phase. But I'll show you this one here he's got. He's got a Chevy. It's 4 years old, soon to be 5 years old. It is the end of the year. Duramax diesel engine. 70,000 kilometers. That's a little bit on the higher side, but not so much for 4 years. That's actually good mileage for 4 years. He's asking 359, which is about, or 349, I'm sorry, so just say 350, which is about 50% of what that costs new. So that is in the wheelhouse. That is definitely in the neighborhood of being a fair deal. But I can show you another one right next to it. That's probably 60% of what it costs new. And the vehicle has over 80,000 kilometers on it. Definitely not a good deal, but it's a pretty vehicle. It's red. It shows maybe a little bit better. Not that there's anything wrong with the white one, but for certain reasons they think they can get more for it, they'll ask more. Here's one I always do. Go ahead and get the vehicle started up. That way you can listen to the engine, see if it's missing or just how it sounds at idle. Make sure it maintains a good idle. That also allows the oil to heat up a little bit. And you can inspect the gate down the side here and see if you see any wet spots, anywhere oil is leaking, perhaps out of a seal or a gasket. The hotter the oil gets, the thinner it gets and easier for it to leak. And then after it's run several minutes and heated it up a little bit, you can go ahead and turn it off. And then go get a good look underneath and see if you see any drip drop. That's when you'll get the drip drop. So that's a pro tip for you. So the different options will make a difference in the price. Automatic's a big one. Four-wheel drive's a huge one, but I'm not really looking for a four-wheel drive truck. I don't, as long as I can get a deal on it, whether it be manual, automatic, I'm not so concerned about that. Most of what I'm going to be doing is highway driving anyway. So out looking for a deal. If you know where there is one, let me know. I'm going to go to another lot and see what I can find, but that's just one. That's just one that we'll start with. So just right down Sukhumvit Road at the next place, much bigger dealership, a lot more to pick from. But I forgot to tell you, at the last dealership, there was a vehicle manufactured in China called SK. A little truck, kind of like a cab over truck, 4-door, brand new. Less than 1,000 kilometers on it, 189,000 baht. That's less than 6,000 baht for a brand new little truck. Although it wouldn't fit my purposes and the quality I think would be questionable, but it is what it is. So here, sometimes it pays to shop at dealers because here they have a brand new truck as well. It's got 170 kilometers on it. It was just driven from Bangkok to here. It's brand new. The truck normally would be 750,000. They get it here for 690. Automatic infotainment system. Brand new Toyota Hilux, 2021. So that's a good deal. So you never know what you might find. But he's also got a lot of. He specializes in more 8, 9, 10-year-old vehicles within the 100,000 kilometer range. He's got a couple of those. I don't know if I want anything that old or not, but a couple of them look pretty decent. I mean, 125,000 kilometers on a Toyota truck isn't the end of the world. You still got a lot of life left in that, and hopefully minimal repairs. The higher you get up in the kilometers, the more costly some of the repairs can be. The 40, 50, 60,000 kilometer mark, a lot of times it's just basic bolt-ons, batteries, tires, exhaust shocks, that kind of stuff where the part actually might be more than the labor. You're not looking at clutches and air-conditioned compressors and the kind of things that go up more of the 70, 80, 90, 100,000 mile mark. But anyway, so a couple other things. So for floods, real quick, a couple things I like to check for. One, under the frame rails, in the frame rails, is there sand, is there grit, is there gravel underneath? 2, in the dash, reach your hand under the dash and back up the lip. See if there's any sediment up there. That's what you're looking for, sediment, not really dust, but some kind of grit, a gritty substance. Floodwater, the grits, once the water dries, there's grit everywhere. Pull back the carpets if you can. I did that on the first truck, I'll show you. Just look under there. Does it look fresh? Is there any signs of mold, dampness, anything? So for the other category, I guess, of things you want to check, are the miles the same on the vehicle as what it's showing on the odometer? A couple things there. I check wear points on the seat, steering wheel, pedals. Anything you touch with your hands, it would be a wear point. See if it looks consistent with the amount of miles. There's no way you're going to have a lot of wear with only 40, 50,000 kilometers. So the mileage could be off. And then accidents. Has it been in an accident? Check the seams on your bodies, any kind of difference in color between the panels, and the telltale signs of teeth marks on the frame rails where they actually have to straighten the frame. That's a real bad one there. But you just look over. Does it look right? Of course, you got to drive them. When you slam on the brakes going down the road, does it pull you off to the left or right? There's a lot of things you have to be careful about buying a used car. I basically grew up at car dealers. My father would buy a new car every year for both himself and my mother, and he was out. The process never stopped. He was constantly out shopping. I've seen them spend months on a deal and then throw the whole deal away because somebody tried to add a $15 FM radio upgrade on a car. So he's bought more cars, both new and used, than anybody else I know. I think somewhere close to 60 cars in his lifetime. So I'm right behind him. I've probably bought 40, in the neighborhood of 40. But anyway, you got to know what to look for, read up on it, do your homework on pricing, and the best thing here is the auction, I think. Not necessarily what somebody tells you is a good deal. Decide for yourself if it's a good deal. There's more bad deals out than good deals. Just think about it that way. So the good deal is hard to find. That's always been the case. Plenty of bad deals. A lot of average deals, just so-so, but that means you can do better. So what else has he got here? Not a lot of what I'm looking for. So I'm out of here pretty quick because I want that 2 to 4 year old vehicle with 40-ish, 50-ish thousand kilometers. That's the one I'm looking for, and he really didn't have anything here that fits the bill. The last lot, that white one, 70,000 kilometers, a little bit more. What's that, 45,000 miles, something like that? 4 years old. That's the closest thing I've seen, but I don't like how low it sits to the ground. I don't like those low profile tires on a truck. I think that's self-defeating. So maybe, he said it would be a 14,000, I'm sorry. 14,000 baht to take those wheels and tires off and put on the right size that belonged on there. So that still could be an option, that vehicle, but I'll continue to look around. And all you need to buy is a residency certificate from immigration showing where you live for your address, because they need to do the paperwork to title it and everything for you. Which, by the way, that all is included in the prices. Both dealerships I went to today, the price they quote consists of them changing the name and the green book and all that. So they have the former owner's ID, which you probably need to go to an agent or do that, navigate through that yourself if you're buying from a private party. So that's another benefit of doing it from a dealer. They do this for a living. They know exactly what they need and how to do it. And they do it so much they can do it efficiently and cheap. So maybe saves you a little bit of money too. But anyway, I'll continue to look. That's all it's going to be. So there you go. Let the buyer beware. I will link my auction video at the end screen. So if you missed that, I actually went to the auction in Bangkok, and it was a very, very, very well-received video. I think I got 2 to 3 times the normal viewership on that. There was a lot of interest, and I think rightfully so. I think that is the right way to gauge prices here. Watch their live streams, focus on the cars that you're interested in. And I'm not suggesting you will be able to buy one from a dealer at that price. They're going to have some reconditioning costs in there and some warranty guarantee costs. Maybe 20, 30,000 baht more than auction price at a dealer might be fair. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.